I can still feel the weight of that humid July night pressing against my skin. The last evening of Camp Maplewood, where friendships were sealed with promise and every laughter echoed off the pines. All week long, campers had been passing around the Camp Chronicle, a bound notebook where everyone scribbled doodles, jokes, and goodbye notes. It was supposed to be harmless fun until I opened my page. When I finally got the Chronicle back, I flipped past Maya's butterfly sketch and Leo's corny pun, "Don't leave me," then froze at the very bottom of my photograph. In neat, looping letters I didn't recognize, someone had written, "See you soon, Jordan." No, good luck or stay in touch. Just that. And beside it, a tiny crescent moon that looked watchful. I stared so long I felt the forest shift around me. My cabin mates, Maya, Leo, and Carmen, teased me when I blanched. "It's probably some kid goofing around," Maya said. But I couldn't shake what it felt like, an invitation from a stranger. That night, the four of us piled into my cabin's bunk room. We watched cheesy horror trailers on my phone, shared s'mores from the camp bonfire, and whispered about our plans for next summer. By midnight, my counselor was asleep in the adjacent room, and we thought ourselves perfectly safe. Then a single knock rapped against the door's wooden frame, slow, deliberate, like a heartbeat. "Who's there?" Carmen called, her voice bouncing off the pine walls. The knock stopped. We exchanged uneasy glances. After a long pause, a cheerful voice answered, "Just another camper wanting to say goodbye." It sounded too bright, too casual. No wind carried it, no night creature emitted that tone. Leo gulped. "Last camper left hours ago," he muttered. They insisted I peek through the window. I crept forward, pressing my forehead to the cold glass. Under the dim porch light stood a tall figure in a faded scout t-shirt. Heart pounding, I recognized the forlorn tilt of his cap. Same camper's only hat from the Chronicle photo. It was him, Darren Hale, a boy who'd been kicked out of camp for vandalizing cabins 2 nights before, yet somehow still here. "Jordan," he said softly, as if greeting an old friend. "Got your message." My pulse thundered. He couldn't know my name. "What do you want?" I whispered. He tilted his head, eyes glinting. "I always keep my promises." A shot of ice ran down my spine. I backed away, but Carmen was already locking the window. Darren raised his hand and pounded the glass, the sound cracking through the silence like a gunshot. "Open up!" he snarled. Outside, the porch light flickered, then went out, plunging us into shadow. "Maya, call Mrs. Thompson," I hissed. Carmen flipped on her phone's flashlight, illuminating trembling faces. Darren hammered again. The frame groaned. We heard the counselor stir next door. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then a loud crash. Darren's shoulder slammed into the door's thin panel. Splinters flew. Leo grabbed a camping stool and wedged it under the doorknob. "Stay back!" he shouted. Darren's face appeared at the crack, eyes furious, mouth twisted into a snarl. "You can't hide from me," he spat. And for a frozen second, I believed him. Footsteps thundered down the hallway. Our counselor's silhouette filled the doorway. Darren growled and vanished into the trees before anyone could move. In the flash of the porch light, we saw him retreat into the darkness, as if swallowed by the forest itself. In the morning, Camp Director Stevenson gathered the den leaders by the flagpole. Word had come in that Darren's parents had moved away months ago. He was never formally enrolled this session. His chronicle entry had been forged by someone on the staff, and it slipped through the cracks. No one knew how he'd sneaked in or why he targeted me. All we had was his promise. See you soon. By the time all the cabins filed past, there was a hush among us. Every rustle of leaves, every distant owl call made my skin crawl. The chronicle was burnt. Director Stevenson insisted it was the only way to stop anyone else from finding a message like that.